Gamer Spawn. Diablo 3 Countdown. 4 days left. 4 days from now, one of the biggest games companies on Earth will launch the highly anticipated sequel to one of its mega franchises. Gamers old and young will finally get to dig into the depths and breadth of Blizzard's Diablo 3, an astounding 12 years after the last core game in the franchise. As we look forward in these final few days before the Dungeon Crawler's release, let's take a few moments to look back at the franchise's storied history and humble beginnings. In 1994, a small studio called Blizzard Entertainment released a now famous real-time strategy called Warcraft. That fateful title put the developers on the map, and before long, they were at the forefront of PC development. Having built up their cash reserves with Warcraft's successful sequel and subsequent expansion pack, Blizzard partnered with a console games company called Condor Entertainment and began work on Condor's little game concept called Diablo. Just before the game's release, Blizzard bought Condor wholesale and dubbed the studio Blizzard North. Drawing on early, crude roguelike games of the early 90s, the design for Diablo called for fast-paced dungeon crawling using an isometric perspective taken from previous PC strategy games like XCOM. Featuring 3 character classes for players to choose from: the Warrior, the Sorcerer, and the Rogue. The original Diablo hoped to keep gamers coming back with random map generation and loot for a different experience every time. Pioneering and popularizing the point-and-click interface that is now an industry standard for the genre, the first Diablo was an instant success with PC gamers due to its accessibility and deep, addictive multiplayer component, an aspect of the game that was an afterthought, having been coded in about half a year before its release. The real-time combat and variety of quests and level paths offered a unique take on the RPG, and the dungeon crawler was never the same again. Standing on the shoulders of its older brother, Diablo 2 burst onto the scene in the year 2000, bringing with it a whole host of improvements and additions to the now classic formula. Foremost, Diablo 2 expanded the player's choice to 5 playable classes: the nimble Amazon, the powerful Necromancer, the tank-like Barbarian, the righteous Paladin, and the deadly Sorceress. As for the setting, the new game offered a wide range of quests and 4 new acts to play through, addressing complaints over the first game's relatively short length. Hacking and slashing its way to victory, Diablo 2 drew in over 4 million players in the first year alone, and continued to make appearances on the top 10 selling game lists for the next decade. Building upon the game's success, Blizzard launched an expansion pack, Lords of Destruction, the following year, tweaking and improving existing content while adding a slew of new areas and characters. Remarkably, Blizzard continued to support Diablo 2 years after its heyday, offering countless patches and fixes to its fans. Now, the 3rd game in this series looms tantalizingly on the horizon, ready to continue the franchise's mammoth legacy. When Diablo 3 finally arrives on Tuesday, it will be standing on the shoulders of giants, Diablo and Diablo 2. Stay tuned to Gamer Spawn as we continue our exclusive Diablo 3 countdown.